Now before we get to testing, we're going to see the software and listen to the microphones, how it sounds through the software. I'm just going to go through a couple of quick settings that might matter for you audio-wise. Right now the audio you're hearing is still my AT4040, but then when you get to the audio here, we'll show it in software and you'll hear the audio directly for that microphone as I test the software. Now let's get to the microphones and the software for each one. The audio you're hearing right now is from the Rode NTG using the Rode Connect software. We can see I pressed the record button right here and we have our microphone as microphone 1. We can increase our level volume through the software. But do we see right here, we have sound happening through the microphone even when I'm not saying anything. So I'm going to lower this back down to 8 volume, but now it goes much lower. So we should have cleaner audio. Now we can change our different settings on the microphone itself here. As you can see, pad, noise gate, compressor, exciter, big bottom. Let's turn these all off and go through one by one. Noise gate is on, and let's turn that back off. Now noise gate is off. Let's turn the compressor on. How am I coming through with compressor on? Now let's turn that off. Exciter, let's try this one. Exciter is now on, and now let's turn it off. Now I have big bottom on, and how am I coming through? Now let's turn that off. So generally this is the setting right here with compressor, exciter, and big bottom already enabled when using your microphone right out of the package. Now the one thing that's really cool is we have all these sound effects through the software. So if I press intro, outro, not going to play the whole thing. There's so much, so long of a sound and laughter. Applause. Sad trombone. Rim shot. Scary. How about crickets? Or harp. Now you can do different things like choosing 2 different things at the same time. So let's press laughter and I guess harp. And just click it again and it turns it off. And let's see the setup assistant, and that's where you have your Rode NTG, which you can unselect as available microphone and choose your audio channel. We can see version 2.1.2. And we can go to next and then choose what our audio device is and whatnot. I'm going to get out of this. And we can go to preferences. I have no monitor out listed, so no output audio coming through. Monitor mix, excluded or microphones included. And recording, stereo, let's see, there's a multi-channel as well. And latency, I have as low rather than ultra low. And appearance is dark. I can change the software to look light in color, just like that. And I'm going to choose back dark again. Scaling is the size of your software window. So if I go to 1, it's smaller, and 1.5, that's what I prefer. And you can choose your language. We got all these different languages to choose from. Let's choose simplified Chinese. And now our language is, well, Chinese. And let's see if I can get back. This could be difficult, so maybe not too bad. Okay, good. Thank you. It's a good thing to have memory. Now let's go to about, and we can see the version of software is 1.3.5. There we go. And if you want to, we can choose our own sound effects. So let's see if I can choose this. I'm going to go to audio effects, video, add-on stuff, and audio music. Let's choose something. I'm going to go to, why not, right there. That's going to be my new sound, and let's play it. Anyways, that is how that works, and you can choose whatever different sound effect you want and have that as your little pad that you press for sound effects while playing your video and recording. Pretty cool. We also have our mute and whatnot. Yeah, and we got this as well. So the Sure Motiv software has a bunch of different settings. We got the auto level, which I don't like to use because it automatically adjusts everything. And you can choose the different near or far away from the microphone, which just simply adjusts volume levels and then the different tone. I can mute the mic, whatever. I can choose mic gain if I want to have more gain volume. And if you go too high in gain volume, you're probably going to get hiss creeping up in your audio. So if you put too much gain level, you should probably avoid that because you will get hiss in your audio, like if I do this. Now listen to silence for a sec. Anyways, then you have your mic and playback volume, so you can choose which volume you want. If you want to be able to hear the mic through the actual microphone itself, it has a headphone port out, so that's pretty sweet. You have your equalizer, so your low cut. Oh, it shows right here too. Sorry, that one's high pass. This one is presence boost, and this one is high pass and presence boost. Limiter. Okay. And we have compressor. This is one that a lot of people like to play with because you have your regular sound. And if I go, say, right here and change the sound, you probably should be able to hear that. And then I go to medium. And we can choose light. I usually prefer myself personally medium, but this could be personal preference. I guess this as well for the LEDs on the microphone, but that's not really going to matter for what we're doing right now. And you can manage your presets and save them. So yeah, let's get down to mic testing. And we have all these different settings here, but there's nothing really interesting other than our app version and firmware version. And you can check for updates. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I have the newest firmware at this time. Right now, we're testing the Shure MV7, and the volume's on maximum. It's not very loud to PC, unlike the Rode NTG, which has a lot of gain to PC. We're doing USB, of course, and we have to speak close to the mic because if we don't, we're not going to get sufficient volume. Of course, there's no worries about clipping there, and we could actually meter our level through LED lights showing our volume on the microphone, which is pretty cool. The Rode NTG has a little red light that goes red when you clip. Kind of inconvenient of knowing where your volume level is, which is pretty cool that you have that option through software to do such a thing. Now let's listen to the silence. Okay. This is a test of the Rode NTG. This is a microphone that has a lot of gain to the PC, so you pick up very, very easy. There are a lot of different settings to the Rode Connect app, and you can record directly through it. Now, if I go through this, I can click on the microphone itself and set different settings. I can set the pad, the volume level, and a bunch of fancy things. But right now, what I really want to test is the silence. So let's listen to the silence to see how clean the audio is, if there's any hiss happening. So let's listen to that. Okay, now let's go to the Shure MV7 and do the same test. And then I'm going to do a head-to-head distance away and, of course, see if how it picks up, that is, between the microphone, the back end, front end, and everything else, and try to get a comparison. And then, of course, we're going to go to XLR with this microphone, and we're going to go to camera directly with this microphone, the Rode NTG. Now for a microphone test, listening to the silence to see how clean the audio is. And this will give us a good idea of if there's hiss or not, or how much hiss there really is. In this testing, I'm going to actually boost the volume to that of the Rode NTG to get the sound waves about the same. So if you're boosted the audio to what you're going to record, they're going to be the same level so we can hear which one has more or less hiss, because the audio pickup is very, very low to PC, and we need to match that correctly. So now let's listen to the silence. Okay, so now you heard how this microphone is coming through. So let's check distance-wise. Okay, right now I'm speaking about 1 inch away. So right now we're about 1 inch away. And if the phone wasn't here, so right now I'm actually speaking about 1 inch away from the capsule. It's kind of hard to tell because I'm using this other phone because the capsule is right about there where I'm pinching. So right now we're about 1 foot away from the microphone. And right now we're about 2 feet away from the microphone. And right now I'm speaking about 3 feet away from the microphone. So this should give you a good idea of audio pickup at a distance. And now let's listen to the Rode NTG. Right now you're listening to the Rode NTG connected to my digital camera, the Sony ZV-1. The one thing is your different camera will have different DACs, so the audio clarity can differ between cameras, especially as you turn up that level. If you turn up the volume level and this level, you're going to get different sound. But this is a best case scenario using the Sony ZV-1, but if you have a decent camera, should be similar, maybe it could be better, especially if you have a high-end camera. Now, what I want to do is listen to the silence to see how clear this audio is. Again, audio hiss will differ based on your setting of the device itself and the setting of the camera. That's where an audio interface can give you that better consistency. Now let's listen to that silence. Okay, so one thing you want to test is also pickup distance. Right now we are about 1 inch away from the capsule of this microphone, and I'm going to adjust this slightly if I want to go further distance away. So now I'm about 1 foot distance away from this microphone. How am I coming through? 2 feet away from this microphone. How is it coming through? Right now I'm about 3 feet away from the microphone. How is the audio pickup of this microphone? So how this compares to the Shure MV7? Well, you be the judge. Right now I'm using the Rode NTG through the Rode Connect software to record my guitar. Let's see how this sounds. The audio you're hearing right now is the Shure MV7, and I'm connected to my AutoFuse Revision 2 from Atura, and I'm doing USB out to PC and recording through Mixcraft 9 Pro Studio. Let's see how this sounds. The MV7 is a clear, absolute winner. Every key, every strum, every stroke of every string was far more announced, while the Rode NTG was more kind of muffly in sound. Even the buzzing of the strings was pronounced on the MV7. So for accuracy, you got this one. True, absolute winner for instruments. And the other reason it wins for instruments that you don't see is the Rode NTG clips, audio-wise, a lot easier than the Shure MV7. So the Shure MV7, you can pump a lot more volume through it without having audio clipping, which means you'll have better audio even in louder situations. And the reason I bought the Sennheiser MKE600 was because I had to record in a loud industrial environment, and this can take the sound volume, the sound pressure, without being a problem, unlike the NTG. Now to test a lifter, so this is like Cloud Lifter, but this is DM1 Dynamite. So I connect this to the back of the end of the microphone, and then I should be able to turn my audio interface lower, and hopefully I can remove some of that hiss in this audio right now. Wow, did that Dynamite DM1 ever improve that audio? That's insane. This is the audio speaker out to camera still, but it improved it massively. The problem was I had to turn the volume so high, it adds audio hiss, and this requires 48 volts phantom power to this Dynamite DM1. So when it comes down to the cost, you're having to get a lifter, the microphone, audio interface, extra cables connected. So that's going to cost you quite a bit. Not a cheap setup for someone that's starting out. It's up to you if this works for you. Maybe you have other microphones you need to power. Well, this one is quite simple. It has a battery included, and you can travel outside with this without having to worry about taking a laptop so you can connect your audio interface to power it, to power the microphone. So if you have, say, something cheaper like a Scarlett 2i2, which is not quite as clean as this Audio Fuse Revision 2 interface. But this does not have a firm off right here. This, you can get a firm off with it, and that will make it so it's good outside if it's windy. So if you're traveling around, this is a good option, even for a studio if you just want something very, very simple. But audio interface to PC is pretty darn good with the NV7 and sounds very professional. And that part with this one, and it has headphone out so you can actually monitor your audio. You can't monitor your audio with this. It is what it is. Don't forget to subscribe to Not BIOS and leave any questions below in the comments. To like this video to help this channel grow. Ask your questions. Maybe I can make another video or just answer you directly. Thanks for watching. And what competition between microphones would you like to see? I don't like to get microphones that are not very good. If I have a cheap microphone, it's more likely going to be that a company has provided because I purchased enough cheap ones and I don't want garbage, e-waste. I want something I want to keep and use. And if company sends directly, sure, I'll test it out because I want every option for every price level to help everyone here. Thanks again for watching and have yourselves a most wonderful day.